What does cortisol actually do?
You can think of cortisol as the resource management system of the body.
Yeah.
It will allocate energy to wherever it's needed. If you have too much cortisol, there would be more inflammation. That's not good for us. It will be true for any hormone. If it is out of the whack, it's going to create problems. But because you hear terms like cortisol belly and cortisol face and cortisol detox, hence the negative association, which is why they're getting scared of the word cortisol.
But how harmful can this be in our overall fitness?
If your body is focusing on survival and escaping danger, how will it focus on things like digestion? Why will it focus on recovery? People are having fertility issues and you also feel very sleepy through the day, but when it's time to sleep, you can't fall asleep. That's one of the signs of burnout.
A few things that can help regulate.
It doesn't need to be a big protocol to fix your cortisol. So I'm going to tell you that one thing from my point of view, and it is
one term that is being thrown around everywhere, cortisol. Yeah, actually, it's I think the word that everyone fears, right?
We've been made to fear.
Yeah, made to fear. Exactly. Everyone's like cortisol, without knowing enough about what.
Oh, you've got cortisol.
Yeah, like also the fact that it is another hormone and it's a good one.
Very important hormone.
Yeah, right. We'll get into what is cortisol and all of that. But why do you think this sudden thing of cortisol and most people in the gym are talking about?
Yeah, most people in health who have got anything to do with their health and fitness, they're scared of cortisol.
Yeah.
So I think cortisol is not really the feared hormone in health and fitness. It's the feared hormone on the internet. But the problem is that most things today in health and fitness, unfortunately, are driven by a lot of social media trends and
Correct.
short form content and all of that. And which is why people, who are worried about their health, who are at least trying to do something about their health, are actually getting scared of the word cortisol.
Yeah.
Whereas it's just another hormone which,
Exactly.
gets us to do things.
Yeah.
If you have to, it's the hormone that gets us to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's the hormone that gets us to get ready and drive our kids to school and
Alertness
and it's, it has a natural rhythm. It peaks in the morning and it declines by the day and it's at its bottom during the night.
Yeah.
And it's the normal rhythm. But whenever you see on the internet, you hear words like cortisol belly, cortisol face.
I didn't know about cortisol face. Cortisol belly, yeah.
So cortisol face is basically when it becomes a little puffy and you
inflammation.
You look stressed and all of that. Which is, in a way, it's happening because you have
Body.
chronically high cortisol. It's
elevated.
very high and it stays high for a long period of time.
Correct.
But the root cause is of course something else and we'll talk about it. But then you hear things like cortisol detox, right?
Everyone will want to know.
Yeah,
to do.
Yeah. It's basically, people would talk about, I'm going to give you a cortisol detox diet because cortisol is creating a mess in your system and I'm going to give you a diet that's going to change your life. So of course people are going to buy into it. So these are, if you ask me, money making tactics. Yeah, if someone's talking to you about the cortisol detox diet, they're after your money. They don't care about your health, really. But biologically, cortisol is a survival hormone. It's an adaptation hormone. And like I said, we technically wake up because cortisol
increases.
rises in the morning.
Yeah.
Cortisol also, it allocates energy to wherever it's needed. So in the later part of the sleep, when you're going through your rapid eye movement, the REM sleep, that period is a period of very high activity in the brain, and the brain requires energy. And that is when your cortisol starts to rise, and then it goes to its peak early in the morning, and that's when you wake up. So that's what cortisol is doing. It's allocating energy to where it's needed. But because you hear terms like cortisol belly and cortisol face and high cortisol body and cortisol detox, hence the negative association, which is why people are they're getting scared of the word cortisol. And in reality, if you see, people are generally because of the modern life and notifications and screen time and work life and everything, people are generally overstimulated
Yeah.
and under recovered, and which is why very high relatability, and which is why fear mongering works very well. So that's why, people in health and fitness they fear cortisol.
Yeah, also, I've just realized that we associate almost with hormones as a little bit of a negative thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's always like blaming your hormone, right?
Yeah.
Even otherwise, if it's not a cortisol discussion also, you're always blaming the hormone. We need to start understanding that these hormones are what is ruling our body.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
It's doing everything that we're supposed to do.
Including exercise.
Yeah. So if you understand how it works and then treat it the right way, it's only going to help you get better and stronger.
Exactly.
Right?
Correct.
Live better, become more healthier, and etc. So I feel, now we're talking about cortisol, again, another hormone. And instead of understanding it, everyone's fearing it.
Yeah.
Right? So tell us, what does cortisol actually do inside the body? Let's help people understand that.
So cortisol is a part of a healthy circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
Like I said, it peaks in the morning and it will decline by the day. That's the natural rhythm of cortisol. You can think of cortisol as the resource management system of the body.
Yeah.
It will allocate energy to wherever it's needed. If you fall sick, it will allocate energy for you to recover from that sickness. If you have to exercise, it's gonna allocate glucose availability for you to sustain nicely through that workout. In fact, so I've been wearing a CGM, and just before the High Rocks race was about to start, my blood glucose would shoot up. There would be a sharp rise, and that's what cortisol is doing. Cortisol will release, it'll make blood glucose available for you to sustain through an activity like High Rocks or any workout.
Yeah.
It's also, if you need to focus on work, let's say, it's gonna help you create alertness.
Yes.
So that's what cortisol does. It's like you're running your gym. You go in the morning, there's a task, you tell your trainer to take this class, you tell your ops manager to fix the roof or whatever that is.
Yeah.
You're doing that resource allocation. That is what cortisol is doing inside the body. It also has powerful anti-inflammatory effects, by the way. Of course, if you have too much cortisol, which is high for a long period of time, there would be more inflammation. That's not good for us. And that will be true for any hormone. If it is out of the whack, it's going to create problems, not just cortisol. Whenever your brain basically faces threat or fear, your body is going to release cortisol to be able to deal with that threat. Now, if you see historically, threat would have looked like what? Historically, it would have looked
Hunters.
like hunting.
Yeah.
Escaping danger, running away from a predator.
Yes.
But the thing is that once you escape and you've saved yourself, the threat is over and your nervous system gets time to calm down.
Correct.
What does threat look like today? Imagine work pressure. Glamorized late nights at work. People not sleeping enough and that being glamorized at workplaces.
Yeah.
People sending late night emails and that being glamorized at workplaces.
Yeah.
Worse than anything else, notifications. They just won't stop. And
Correct.
this technology is built to play around with your brain. So notifications will keep popping in. You'll have financial anxiety, not because of notifications, but in general we have financial pressure and all of that. But then that is what threat looks like today. The problem is that it never stops. It's just never ending. So it's not like how it would have happened with our ancestors, where the threat is over and my nervous system gets the time to calm down.
Yeah.
But our brain is not getting that time
Correct.
to calm down, and which is why cortisol needs to remain active and everything, and that's what creates the kind of issues that we see.
Yeah.
So it's again not the cortisol that's the problem. It's the other things which is stimulating the release of cortisol.
Correct.
And the hormones going out of the whack for us to see whatever we see.
But how harmful can this stress be in our overall fitness and health. Because, I mean, it is named stress hormone.
Yeah, so I'll just go back again to the same thing. When in historically,
Yeah.
in the case of our ancestors, they would get the time to get their nervous system to calm down.
Correct.
But in our case, the brain is always sensing danger.
Yeah.
It's always sensing danger. It's always in that survival mode. Why? Because we are never off our screens. We also have too much exposure to light and maybe television and
Yes,
laptops
yes,
and especially the phone, because it's so accessible, and our brain is never getting that opportunity to shut down. So if your body is focusing on survival and escaping danger, how will it focus on things like digestion? Why will it focus on recovery? Why is it going to focus on reproduction? And which is why you see, right, people are having fertility issues and all of that. Because these are non-essential functions. The most essential thing right now is save my life. I mean, if I'm not going to survive, then what do I do with my digestion, right?
Exactly.
So that's what the body is always focusing on. And your stomach is going out of the whack. You're getting gut issues. You're under recovered. You also feel like you also feel very sleepy through the day, but when it's time to sleep, you can't fall asleep. And that's one of the signs of burnout. You're fully burnt out because of this hormonal mess. And that's the impact that it has on our health.
Yeah.
In general.
Overall health.
Yeah, but also, it's called a stress hormone, which I don't think it's a stress hormone. It's a hormone that helps us respond to stress.
Exactly.
So I think stress hormone, because it's generally called a stress hormone, people think it is the stress hormone, but it's the hormone.
It's a problem for everyone.
Yeah, it's the hormone that's helping us, respond to that stress. But what we also need to understand is stress is good for us.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, exercise is stress. Focusing on a task is stress, and we know that it's good for our career, right? If we focus on work, if we get work done on time,
yes,
that's good for us to grow in our careers. If we exercise, that's good for our muscles and strength, and for our VO2 max, our performance, and overall health and longevity. Yeah. All of that is happening because you are imposing some level of stress, and in response to that stress, the body is recovering and becoming stronger. The problem again is
constantly
long-term stress.
Elevated. Yeah.
And our brain has actually been built to handle very, very high levels of stress. It's very resilient by design. The problem happens with unresolved stress. So, for example, there is, let's say, relationship issues. The brain's going to be able to deal with it unless, it's being resolved. So, the brain's going to be able to deal with relationship issues if you address it. If it's just lingering around, and if you never make that conversation and resolve it for good, that is when stress is carried over to your life. It shows up on your belly. It shows up on your face. It shows up in generally how you talk to people and everything else in your life. So like I said, it's not the stress. It's the unresolved stress which just carries over to everything that you do.
Continuously.
That's the problem. And which is what also leads to your cortisol being chronically elevated. And that has got strong linkage to belly fat and fat on the face and all of that.
Yeah. So then can cortisol actually make fat loss harder?
Yes. The answer is yes, but it's also nuanced. It's not, it's oversimplified on the internet. Cortisol can make fat loss harder, but आप सोचो कोई इंसान processed food खा रहा है दिन भर. The person's binging on Netflix and Instagram reels at night. The phone's right next to your bed. You're also stressed all the time. You're doing all of that, which is stimulating the release of cortisol.
Yeah.
And then while scrolling on those reels, आपको दिखता है कोई महाशय बोल रहे हैं cortisol से बच के रहना, whatever fear mongering that works on the internet. And you're like, oh man, cortisol is my problem. That's what causing this belly fat. And you know what? It's also the easy way out, right? And I'm not trying to be harsh on people, but this is the easy way out. You are not being blamed for the belly fat that you've accumulated over so many years or whatever damage you've done.
Yeah.
The poor cortisol is being blamed for it. I'm getting fat. Why? Because I have hormonal issues and I have no control over it.
Exactly.
So it's the easy way out, right?
That's what I was
just
saying. Blame hormones.
Just blame the hormone for the damage that you've done. And then the fear mongering on the internet is adding to it. The thing is that while cortisol is linked to creating more belly fat, creating fat on the face, and overall just leading to more visceral fat, all of that, but fat gain and fat loss is still a behavioral and physiological phenomenon. So if you fix those habits, which is, eating processed food all the time, overeating, not moving enough, not exercising, maybe you're showing up to the gym once or twice in a month, maybe you're not moving enough, your sleep is disrupted because you are just before bed you're sort of doom scrolling and just scrolling through a lot of that short form content which is mindless. If you fix all of that, then your cortisol rhythm will get fixed, and overall your body composition goals and your muscle goals and everything will be in place.
More achievable.
It'll be more achievable.
Yeah.
So my point is that, you fix the habits, you fix the behaviors, focus on things that you can control. Your hormones are going to be in place because you are doing the right things.
100%.
Your hormones haven't just woken up and decided to create a mess in your system.
Yeah.
You created a mess in your lifestyle, and your hormones are all over the place.
Correct. Also, this is something that I also learned over a period of time, right? Like we all know cortisol is elevated in the morning and what it is supposed to be used for. For some time when I used to not train on empty stomach, you feel like, it's working for you and all of that. But then I realized how your cortisol is then not going to be used the right way when you actually train fasted, especially for women.
Yeah.
Right? But when I eat a small snack and I train, especially all the early morning trainings, right? Everything is regulated well. Then your cortisol is not confused what it needs to support.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd say not even a small snack. Eat
like
good
a
enough
proper,
meal.
20, 30 grams of carbs and a
Exactly.
little protein, some good fat with your nuts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's made a big difference for me in the last years that I've actually started.
And you were training fasted for a long time.
Yeah, not for long. I think for a couple of years or so. Because earlier I never had a big snack. I would still eat a banana or an apple, more energy focused foods. But now what I do is I do my carbs and I also do my protein. So it's not just a carb snack anymore.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I will have half a scoop of protein shake and I'll have a carb snack. It can be like an apple or a banana or a toast. Made a big difference in how my cortisol is going to handle that situation in the morning.
Exactly.
Right? Because then your hormone is not confused, right? Do I actually fuel her workout? Do I fuel the alertness? What do I support?
Yeah.
The blood glucose, the glycogen, there's so many things to worry about, especially first thing in the morning.
Correct.
So, so the more you understand the hormone and treat it accordingly, the more regulated it will be supporting your system.
Exactly. That is the point. The things on social media make it look like that you need to eliminate cortisol, but how are you going to live with it?
Exactly.
There is so much stress in life, right? Parenting is stress. We talk a lot about new mothers and new fathers and basically new parents. It's different kind of stress every single day, things that you were never prepared for. And you want it in your life. You want to spend time with your kids. You love watching them grow. But then it is stressful. To deal with that stress, you need that cortisol.
Correct.
To exercise, you need that cortisol.
Correct.
For pretty much, to get up and, do things and all of that, you need cortisol. So it's not about eliminating cortisol.
Yeah.
It's about regulating it.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Yeah. So now, just for our listeners, viewers, a few things that can help regulate.
There are actually many.
Just like the top things that they can keep in mind to regulate and not have this fear.
Yeah, there are actually many, but I'm actually going to tell you one thing. And I don't want to give our viewers a list of things to regulate cortisol and then stress over that list of things. Because, we're talking about reducing stress in your life, regulating that stress in a way that contributes to your long-term health and outcomes. So I believe doing 10 things, doing one thing
Yeah.
that's most impactful and obsessing on that is more powerful than doing 10 things.
Yes.
And I'm a very strong believer of the concept that what is the one thing that you can do today in whatever you want to achieve. It could be parenting, it could be your work, it could be your exercise, or it could be regulating your hormones. But what's the one thing that you can do today that will make everything else either unnecessary or it will make everything else easier?
Huh.
So I'm going to tell you that one thing from my point of view, and it is keep your phone away more often. I've been talking to you about it.
Yeah. You should actually talk about it, like what you've recently done
Yeah.
to consciously make the effort of putting it away, because we're all on the internet all the time.
Yeah.
If that's the one thing you're going to tell everyone, then also tell them what you've done so that maybe it can be of use to so many people out
Definitely. I will. But the reason I'm saying keeping the phone away more often is the one thing that I'm going to recommend to regulate your stress and your cortisol is because when you keep your phone away, you will have the time, the energy and the creativity to focus on things that actually matter. If you keep your phone away more often, and if you're not involuntary reaching out to see, oh, who's WhatsApped me, or who's emailed me, or how many likes have I received, and keep viewing your own Instagram reels again and again to see how many views has it achieved. If you are not doing that, you will have a lot of time to do other things like get your morning sunlight. As in, you go out and walk. What do you do if you're not wasting time on the phone? You will do the
You'll
good
do
things.
something
you,
else
You
that
know
is-
what are those good things.
Yeah.
मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं, आपको पता है कि लाइफ में अच्छी चीजें क्या होती हैं. You know that if you wake up in the morning and you go and take a 10-minute or a 20-minute walk outside in the sun, everybody knows it's good for them.
Correct.
We don't have to tell them. But what they need to do is just make that time. And the brain is so powerful, the brain will tell you how to make the best use of that time.
Yeah.
So you keep that phone away, you won't be overstimulated all the time. Because it's your notifications and your endless mindless content that's killing your brain, shrinking it, making it smaller.
And WhatsApp for me.
WhatsApp is a big problem, yeah?
Yeah, because we keep talking about scrolling, and like social media. But I also feel like for me, social media is not the problem. For me, WhatsApp is the problem.
For me, social
I'm
media
on it.
used to be, and it could possibly come back again for me, but right now I'm controlling it very well. It was a big problem. I was just involuntarily reaching out to, an open Instagram, first thing WhatsApp, second thing YouTube, then LinkedIn, and then Facebook. It's just becoming endless, and I ended up wasting so much time.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, what happens? Brain rot. You become negative. You are overstimulated. You are under recovered, and you are burnt out. And what have you done? Nothing. You haven't spent time with your son, with your kids. You haven't really focused on doing some deep work.
Yeah.
You haven't focused on your relationships, and you haven't even watched meaningful content. You've just watched random
Very
content.
random, yeah.
Right? So once you make that time, you will be able to focus on work, finish work on time,
Yeah.
go back home, spend time with your partner, spend quality time with your kids, and whatever matters to you and your family. And when you do all of those things, you will feel a lot better.
100%.
And I realized that I'm just spending a lot of time on my phone, and it's not like spending a lot of time in one shot. You go into the lift, and the first thing you do is you take your phone out, open these apps, open your Instagram. You stop at a signal, you take the phone out, and you open your whatever app you want to open. Any moment of randomness, you open your app. While the reality is that in those moments of randomness, thinking happens.
Yeah.
That's how creativity is built. That is where your brain is actually capturing information and converting it into insights.
Yeah.
If you don't give that brain that opportunity, then your creativity is gone, and then you'll suck at your work, you'll suck at your personal life, and you're like, oh, my cortisol is all over the place. So keep your phone away often. And what I did was, to make that happen, first I installed the screen time blocker app on the iPhone itself, and it was so easy for me to override it.
Yeah.
I've had that screen time limit for the longest time now, and every day in the evening when it shows me that signal, I say override. It asks me for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and I say for the rest of the day. Right? And I've been doing it forever. And then I came across this, there's this device. It's an external device. Okay. You have to install that app on your phone. I got it from the US. And you can lock whichever app you want to lock.
Yeah.
And you have to tap the device
On
to
the
your phone. And to unlock it, you will have to tap it back again. So what I do now is I lock these apps which I feel are wasting my time and giving me the brain rot that my brain does not deserve. I lock those apps and I keep the device at home when I go out for work. Like right now, we're sitting here, I can't open my Instagram, I can't open my YouTube, I can't open LinkedIn.
Because the device is at home.
Because it's at home.
You've got the phone, but the device is
I
at
have
home.
the phone, but the device is at home, so I can't tap it.
Yeah.
So I'm now giving myself, and of course, like social media is important for me. I get a lot of work done on social media, and I create a lot of content, and I want to engage with my followers. So I give myself 30 minutes in the evening.
Yeah.
From a very focused standpoint, I'm going to respond to comments. I'm going to respond to DMs.
Yeah, exactly.
And things that I am probably going to put some stuff that I want to talk about on my stories. I'm going to do all of that. But what I'm not going to do is just
Random scrolling
on the content, because once you get into it, at least I realize I would pick my phone up, I would open it, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and I just couldn't get out of it. It's just so random. It's so difficult to come out of it, and you realize, oh, I've wasted 50 minutes. What could I have done in those 50 minutes? A good mobility session, distraction-free 50 minutes. If I give to my son, that's gold for him, because that's like his universe. If I give him 50 minutes a day, he'll be like,
yeah, I agree.
Right? Because for them, they don't demand too much of your time.
No.
But we are spending more amount of time on things that just don't matter. And then we feel burnt out. We feel we haven't done things. We don't have the time to do things that matter. And then, your hormones are all over the place because of that.
Yeah, because you're overthinking then, right? Oh, I wish I could have done this.
So,
I wish I could have
in
done
my
that.
opinion, just do this one thing. Keep your phone away more often. Whatever method works for you. Like I did that external device
whatever
thing,
method works for you. But that looks like the actual hack now.
it's rooted in behavior science.
Yeah.
Now I lock the phone and I put that device back into its box and I place it slightly higher in a cupboard. What I'm basically doing is adding steps for me to unlock that
Make
app.
it harder for you to unlock.
Make it harder for me, adding 2-3 steps, and that friction is just making me not unlock the devices. And like
the more friction you have, the more you're going to stay away.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I've realized now in week 10 days of having used it, my creativity is coming back. I mean, and I feed on creativity. Like my work requires a lot of creativity.
You got to be able to think, right?
Exactly.
What to do differently, more, better, etc.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, I feel more productive. I feel like I've done real good work.
Yeah.
I get better sleep. So everything falls into place. So do this one thing. 100%. Try it out.
I think it's going to work very well for a lot of us. For me, it's that thing that you mentioned. For me, it's WhatsApp, because work, everything is happening on WhatsApp. I'm actually barely on social media. Like I go there to put something and I'm out. But the amount of time I spend on WhatsApp is insane.
But why is that?
Because I have too many people connecting with me on WhatsApp, like too many.
Yeah.
And for me, I take that pressure of I need to respond now. It is not
which
even
is okay, because you're still doing real work.
Yeah,
you're responding to people.
What I mean is, it's not always urgent, because when it's urgent, people will always call you.
Yeah, correct.
So you have to have that mindset if WhatsApp is your problem. And I need to change that for myself, where it's not urgent. That's why they've messaged. So I can wait to respond.
Yeah.
But it's for me, it's WhatsApp is like, oh, someone sent me a message, I need to respond.
Yeah, maybe use it on the laptop only.
Yeah.
Maybe, try that
need
out.
to find that hack. But
But it's just that, I think in general for people, if they're away from brainless content, there will be less FOMO. There will be less comparison.
100.
They'll just automatically feel in just 48 hours, you'll feel a lot better. So it doesn't need to be a big protocol to fix your cortisol. It's just, some behavior shifts, very small behavior shifts that we need to do.
And don't be fearing your hormones.
Yeah. Actually, I should have said that before I gave this one thing.
What?
I should have said that I will tell you what's that one thing
Yeah.
only if you promise to not fall for fear mongering again.
No, but you have to give the link to this device now, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people will want to.
Yeah, I just want to tell everybody it's not sponsored.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not.
it's
It's not sponsored. I bought that device and it's helping me, so I'm happy to talk about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even if it was sponsored, we would only talk about it if it benefited us. We don't talk.
Yeah,
about
we only
something
talk about things that we personally
use and
using.
we love.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's a good one. I think this was important because cortisol has been talk of the hour, like everyone's discussing it. And I think to understand your hormone and then to work around it can really, really benefit your overall health. Right?
Exactly.
Thank
I think what we'll also do is we'll create a cheat sheet for people to understand the science of cortisol a little better. We didn't get very deep into the science because we try to keep things practical on this podcast.
Yeah.
Practical as in things that are very relatable that you can do on a
Yeah,
day-to-day
that's
basis.
understood at a layman's term, right?
But we
That's what
can
want.
just for anyone who wants to understand the hormone a little deeper,
Yeah.
we can create a cheat sheet and it will be available in the description.
Cool. Thank you, Rishiti.